Just FYI, foreigners, listen to this. Foreigners can't own a land. In case of divorce, foreigners have no entitlement to the land 100%. And she is absolutely correct. So foreigners, when you marry a Filipina and you will decide to buy a land in the Philippines with your Filipina wife, know that it's not going to be under your name. It has to go under her name. And for some reason, you did something horrible to her. Let's say, for instance, you cheated on her. She could take that land anytime as part of her revenge and you will never receive a penny. However, if she's the one who ever cheated on you or did something foolish to you, and if you decide to take the land back to your name, you will never get it because it's under her name. But the good news is if you buy a condo in the Philippines, then you can put it under your name. Okay, so now you know. Mwah! It is a good law. It stopped them from buying it all up. My home and land is in wife and daughter, as I trust her, married 11 years, still in love, take care, sis. Yes, I completely agree with you. And can you imagine if all the foreigners can just basically own a lot of lands in the Philippines? And foreigners would definitely take over the entire Philippines. I mean, there's already a lot of foreign people taking over the businesses in the Philippines. How much more if they're also taking over the lands? And what's going to happen to a lot of Filipinos if the foreigners are taking over the land? And that is why a lot of Filipinos should learn how to educate themselves, how to do investments or start a business rather than letting other people do the business. And that is why the system or whoever runs the Philippines, they are succeeding of keeping the Filipino gullible, naive, and ignorant. I'm not saying all, but unfortunately, that is the truth. Hello, I would like to ask if the man is already divorced or if his late wife passed away, can he get married here in the Philippines, especially here in the church? And to answer your question, yes, you and your man can get married if he's already divorced or if he's a widower. And I don't believe there's any problems or complication with your marriage. Just get married and I hope that you will have a good wedding in the Philippines. Tell me please, the man is divorced but the ex-wife is alive. Are you not complicating what is written in Corinthians? So what do you expect when a man or woman gets divorced? Do you want him or her to be just lonely for the rest of their lives? And obviously, it depends on how they got divorced because obviously there's many factors to it. And you cannot force someone not to get married just because according to the Bible. And I understand that many of you still follows the Bible. But I want you to know that the Bible is not written by God. It's written by humans. And the Bible has been tampered so many times by men, not by God. There's many truth to the Bible. However, it has been tampered, changed, and reversed to manipulate humanity. And do many of you do not question how the world exists or how it started? So no, I do not follow the Bible. However, I take lessons from the Bible. The Bible is not written by God. It was written by humans who thinks they were God and the people are worshiping them. And God is not in the Bible. God is inside our hearts. If God wrote the Bible and people follows it, then why are we suffering? Why war exists? Why do we hurt people? Why do we fight? Why do we do killings? And why do we hurt animals? And if God wrote the Bible, there shouldn't be any war, violence, pain, and suffering here on earth. There should only be peace and harmony because God is love and God is in our hearts. In 1988, the Catholic Church in the Philippines wouldn't marry a divorced person. And if you Google it, it's still the same. Well, exactly in 1988. We're not in a 1988 anymore. We are in 2024. We are in the year of Aquarius and a lot of things are changing. A lot of things are happening and we must adapt it and accept it. And that's the reason why a lot of people in the world are currently suffering due to past beliefs and still in the past beliefs. We are too hard in ourselves because of the belief system that we applied in the past. But if we learn to let go our past belief and replace it with a new one, then we would realize, oh, why did I punish myself so hard for not letting go my old belief. And now I understand what Helga was talking about. Let go the old beliefs. So do you see what I mean? Don't drown yourself with a belief system that is not helping you, but instead it's making you suffer and it's making you in pain. And on top of that, it's making you a judgmental and a critical person. And is it worth it to choose the pain and being so hard on yourselves? No, it's not, because it's making you suffer. And so if you just try to take a deep breath and let go, then you will know what I mean. Just think of going with the flow rather than going against. Just think of the river, go with the flow, let the current takes you wherever it may go. Okay, and I promise you, you'll thank me later. Go with the flow because Helga says so. I love you. Doesn't need for a Filipino wife to live in the USA to get benefit from her late husband. Based on my research, yes, you can get benefits from your late husband even if you're living in the Philippines. And they call that Social Security benefits, meaning you can get benefits from your late husband, especially if he was a citizen or permanent resident, as long as you guys were married for at least 9 months. And the other thing that you can get is military benefits, meaning that if your husband was a U.S. military member, you can get some benefits. However, there are specific rules. And the other one is pension or other benefit. These benefits could be private benefits, union benefits, or life insurance. And I believe you need to contact the Social Security Administration or Veterans Affairs. But you need to provide the necessary documentation. And in order for you to gather the necessary documents, you need death certificate of your late husband, you need marriage certificate, proof that your husband was an American citizen. You also need to provide your social security number as well as your husband's social security number. And at the same time, you need a proof of your citizenship only if applicable. So what you need to do is you need to contact the SSA, Social Security Administration. If possible, you need to visit U.S. Embassy or consulate in the Philippines. That way, they can assess you with the application process. And to complete the application, you need to fill out required forms. Then you will submit the necessary documents requested by SSA. And if your husband was a member of a U.S. military, necessary documents that you need to gather are his death certificate, your marriage certificate, proof that your husband was in a military service, and a proof of your identity as a wife as well as your citizenship, only if applicable. In this one, you need to contact the VA, Department of Veterans Affairs. You need to visit their website or call their international number. Or you can visit the U.S. Embassy or consulate in the Philippines for assistance. Again, only if your husband was a military member. But if I were you, based on my inquiry, you need to involve a lawyer. And involving the lawyer might be better for you because they will do everything for you. And be sure that you will keep all the copies of all documents that you're going to send. And at the same time, when you start the process, be sure to keep following up. Always follow up how the process is doing. And I hope I answered your question.